Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Daily Boost, hosted by my community, Love and Action Network, but also hosted by me on Thursdays and Fridays. A lot of snacks 5 at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time, 12 p.m. Eastern Time. So, good morning to those of you on the Central Standard Time, and afternoon to those of you elsewhere on the East Coast or elsewhere, Pacific Time. Who knows? But also, before we go any further, I want to wish Love in Action member Tara Priolo a happy birthday. It is her birthday today, so please send Tara Priolo birthday wishes on her socials and or DMs, even possibly. Her Instagram is Tara Priolo Studio, and her website, you can find all her other social media links, emails, and stuff like that. All that good stuff at tarapriolo.com. But to talk more about the Daily Boost, here at the Daily Boost, our mission, as well as for just Love and Action Network as a whole, who you can find out more about at loveandlovable.org, our mission as a whole is to encourage, equip, and empower ourselves with the knowledge that we are loved and lovable, and to also equip ourselves with tools to get through our day to day. Today, well, let me go into the sources for the Daily Boost. The sources for the Daily Boost include, but not limited to, the 52 Weeks of Conscious Contact by Melody Beatty, as well as the 7-Day Pillar Challenge or the 7-Day Chakra Challenge, and where we talk about the 7 chakras, from the root chakra all the way to the crown chakra, from Sunday through Saturday. Yesterday, Tara, actually, it was Dr. Flo. I forgot. I almost forgot already. We had the audible, and I was there. Wednesday, we actually had an audible and had Dr. Flo talk about the heart chakra yesterday, which was a welcome change. It was a welcome change. It's always nice to see different people talk about, different chakra systems, but also, it's just the same. It's really the same package. Everybody talks their ish. Speaking of talking their ish, Tara Prolo encourages you to talk about the ish that no one else talks about, that no one else talks about. um, but today, well, this week, we're on week 16, and the focus or the theme of week 16 is blessings. The theme of this week is blessings. And uh today I kind of want to focus on the word expectations. I want to focus on expectations, which I feel like the expectations are of perfection, at least, and other when it comes to how we feel about other people and how they approach things or how they just carry themselves, I guess. When it comes to the human expectation, I feel like that is humanity's greatest curse, and it desperately needs to be broken. You ever heard of, breaking generational curses? This is humanity's greatest curse, in its expectations. Before I go into the reading, I just want to kind of go over this a little bit. Expectations. How do I start this? We all have certain expectations. I tell you guys all the time, the reason why we feel emotions or, negative emotions versus positive emotions is because an expectation was either met or it wasn't met that we had. For example, let's say you walk into work and somebody tells you, like, let's say you, for example, with my job, I come into work, and sometimes on the weekends I'll come in, they make the schedule in advance, and I'll come in and they'll be like, oh, you're not working at this building today, you're working at that building. Like, it's pretty much time for me to clock in and everything, and they're telling me I don't work at the building that I usually work at all the time. They didn't give me any, notice ahead of time, and they almost never do. It happens all the time at my job. I'll just walk in and be like, oh, by the way, you're not at this building, we need you to work over here. And it's like, okay, things happen and all the time, I completely understand that, but this is just an example. You're probably going to be upset, if you keep coming into work and they make schedules in advance and you never get any, you never get told, what you're doing beforehand. That's an expectation. You are expecting to be told, these things. You're expect It completely goes against all your expectations. So what do you become? You become upset. You become disappointed. Whatever that emotion may feel. I don't know what emotion you may feel if you were in that situation, but It's come to expectations. Now, if you went into work and everything was just peachy keen, your expectations have been met. You're not really thinking about it. It is what it is. And sometimes our expectations when it comes to people and how they carry themselves affects us greatly. And usually those expectations are rooted in, how we grew up, our childhood, especially high school. There's a reason why they say high school never ends. Well, some people say high school never ends, and that's just because a lot of learned behaviors or the way you view the world, the way you view people and their relationships with people, and your relationships with people start with how you dealt with your family, one, and also two, the dynamic with the people you were around in high school, and all of our expectations. I feel like begin there. They begin and end there to a certain extent. You either become everyone that leaves high school, I won't say everyone, but most people, when you leave high school, you change, your views change, your viewpoints change. Everything just is constantly changing, which changes a tool, is a great tool. Your routine changes, which is important. Your routine has to change depending on what you're doing anyway. I hope your routine changes from when you were in high school. Let's be all honest here. But expectations are humanity's greatest curse because everyone expects something different from everybody. You expect we tend to expect perfectionism in our own specific ways. It's not literal perfectionism, but it's perfectionism to the extent to as to what we see as individuals. For example, I am always very hard on myself, and I tend to extend that to towards other people. And it doesn't look the same way as it does, for me in my head being hard on myself. It looks completely different. For example, let's say, what's a good example here? Mm, uh, hold on. Wait. Hold on. Uh, I'm trying to think of a good example here. I had it, then I lost it. What is a good example? So let's say, okay, I got it. So let's say, turn signals, for example, driving. My expectation for people driving is to use their turn signals. That is my expectation that's a lot of people's expectations when driving. When you're turning, I expect you to use your turn signal, not stop, come to a complete stop, and then either not turn on your turn signal and turn, or turn on your turn signal after you've already pretty much made the turn. That is my expectation, and that is like one of my biggest pet peeves, especially when driving. I try not to have road rage, I really do, but that is like one of my biggest pet peeves when it comes to driving. People just not using their turn signals. And I've even started to call people out this at work, like when I'm a passenger. Like we'll be driving in the mobile at work, and they won't use the turn signals. And most people always use the excuse, well, no one's around, or um, I don't usually do this or something like that. And I'm like, well, if you do it, like you're actually like actively doing it when no one else is around, because usually when people tell me no one else is around, there are other cars around. There was just either like no one directly behind them, or they were like like maybe 5 car lengths back, but there's still cars around. And you honestly never know when a car is gonna just pop up. You never know. So that's why I'm like, if you don't use them now, you probably don't use them a couple of other occasions too, when it's pretty important to. And that's why I'm like, I don't buy it. But that's another example of expectations, how you put your expectations on other people, and if they don't meet them, all of a sudden you may or may not think differently of them. What I'm telling you is, be careful about your expectations, and be flexible with your expectations as well, because your solutions or your be all end all may not be somebody else's. Obviously, I feel like turn signals are very important, but obviously they've survived this long. They haven't been I've been in 2 car accidents, I believe two. Yeah, I've been in two car accidents. These people that don't use turn signals probably have been in less than mine, but that's just because of my experiences driving as well, I guess. So, um, I, like I said, don't just be flexible with your expectations, especially when it comes to other people. You don't necessarily know that other person, so when they tell me, they don't usually do that. I'm trying to believe what they're saying, but at the same time, if practice this generally, you're eventually just not going to use a turn signal. And I have caught some of these people not using their turn signals in situations where they should. So that's all I'm going to say about that. But just because your expectation isn't met of that person doesn't make them a bad person either. It's just your expectation for how the ways things should be done doesn't match theirs. And again, that's okay. I just wanted to get that out of the way. It is okay when other people's expectations don't meet yours. That is humanity's greatest curse, and we feel like when our expectations aren't met, especially when it's a universal expectation. For example, a universal expectation is to, treat each other with respect, correct? But in reality and in practice, that doesn't happen too often with human beings. We tend to not treat others with respect, even though that is a universal expectation for others to treat each other with respect, for others to treat each other equally, regardless of how they look. I'm not talking about how you dress, even. I'm talking about, skin color, ethnicity, all the above, really, all the above. Expectations. Don't let your be flexible with your expectations. That's all I'm asking you to do. Be flexible with your expectations. This is humanity's greatest curse, the expectation for perfection in our own specific ways. Humans hate sacrificing for others. That's just the truth of it. Humans hate sacrificing for other people and themselves. You hate sacrificing your time for somebody else. Hey Gabby. Hey Gabby, how you doing? Oh shoot, I lost my train of thought. It's not your fault, Gabby. My mind works at 200 miles an hour and it's faster than my mouth. So, humans hate sacrificing for others as well as themselves. They hate sacrificing their time. They hate sacrificing their money. They hate sacrificing all those things. Their dreams. Did I say energy already? I believe I said energy already. And the only thing that is worth sacrificing in life, um, well, I said this wrong. I'm sorry. I said this wrong. Out of all those things, your life is the only thing that is not worth sacrificing. Your time is worth sacrificing. It's probably because I changed the time, Gabby. It probably is. It's probably because I changed the time. This is kind of a better time for some people. Your time is worth sacrificing. Your energy is worth sacrificing. Don't sacrifice your confidence though. Yeah, well, your confidence is worth sacrificing. When I say sacrificing, I mean putting it out there, putting your dreams, your thoughts out there. That's what I mean by sacrificing. You're putting your time out there. You're putting your energy out there. You're putting all this out there, and you're leaving it all in the open for other people to affect. That's what I mean by sacrificing. You're sacrificing it to other people to do as what they wish, as well as yourself to do with what you wish. The only thing that's not worth sacrificing out of all those things, where it's confidence, energy, all that, is your life, which is an accumulation of all those things. Don't sacrifice your life. And by your life, I mean like your path, where you're going. Don't sacrifice. Don't feel like these sacrifices aren't necessary, or like they're not worth putting out there, because I know that feeling. I know feeling like it's not worth putting all your time into something just for it not to work out, and just for it to feel like it was meaningless. It doesn't, it's not worth time. I'm going to give a specific example. I mean, I talked about it last week. I had applied for the electrical workers union, and I didn't get rejected nor accepted, but they just pretty much told me I was on like a waiting list of some sort. pretty much. Unless I wanted to do an interview again, which I mean that's a little weird to me because I'm like, well, the interview is kind of like you're going to be asking the same questions. I'm going to be giving you the same answers. So if that's how I'm scored, I don't really understand. But after that, I used to make mistakes all the time or mess up all the time. And I would just beat myself up about it or be like, oh, that was such a waste of time. Why did I do that? Or, like when it comes to school, like trying all those different majors, trying to figure out what to do. Oh, that's just a waste. That was a waste. That was a needed sacrifice. I sacrificed all that time for nothing, and it's not all for nothing. You choose what you learn from anything, and it's your choice. A lot of things in life are just a choice. That's just that simple. Everything, and matter of fact, not some things, everything in life is a choice. Everything. Everything in life comes down to choices. And you have absolute control over a majority of those choices. Control what you can control and don't worry about what you can't control. You can't control how you react to things. You can't control what you do with your routine. You can't control someone else's routine and how they view themselves. You can't control someone else's happiness. You can't control whether the fact, you love somebody and you're happy. Nobody else can make you happy. Expectations, guys. It's all rooted in expectations and everything. Rejection can be another form of blessing as well, which I've realized over the years. Sometimes I guess I will call it higher power. Sometimes higher power puts these things in front of you, and like you might think you need this thing or like it matches your needs. You might feel like it's, oh, hi Angie, hi, yeah, yeah, keep working, girl, keep working, get your bread. But rejection can be another form of blessing. I forgot where I was going with that. It's not your fault, Angie. I just, like I said, like I told Gabby, I work at 1,000. My mind works at 1,000 miles an hour. My mouth works at like two. My mouth works at like two. Um, but yeah, rejection can be another form of blessing, and that's a lesson I had to learn over time. And I feel like I finally learned that lesson, that rejection can sometimes be a blessing. Higher power will sometimes, you might feel like you need this thing, and you just don't. Either that, or you're being moved to do something that you're actually supposed to do. Higher power to me, which Dr. Flo helped me answer yesterday in the Daily Boost. I think it was yesterday. I think it was Wednesday on Instagram. He helped me realize what I think of higher power, like what higher power is. Higher power to me, whether that higher power to you is God, Allah, the universe, a crystal, whatever that may be. Higher power to me is just the path that we're on, the journey, all its turns, all its potholes, all its signs, all the above. It's the journey. Higher power is the path that you're taking. All of that. That's just what it is to me. It's I'm gonna give a more in depth explanation on how I feel about that, but sometimes it just goes to show you that sometimes within your path you're just rejected from things or things don't work out, and it's for a purpose. You might have learned all you needed to learn from that lesson, or you haven't learned the lesson yet, so you keep running into the same obstacle, but you're not tackling it the way you should. That's just part of the journey. And sometimes it takes us about 10 times until we get it. It's like we have an aha moment, like, or a deja vu moment. We're like, I've been through this like a lot. Life is a cycle. It absolutely is. Life is, as Dr. Flo says, it is a circle. I like to call it a cycle, though. Life is a cycle, and it's twist and turn. When we're on this path, it's much like a NASCAR race. It's much like a lap. It's a lot of left turns, but then all of a sudden the path will just go right, but you still end up in a loop somehow anyway. But you still end up in the same current, but then eventually you break off from the path, and then you're in a new cycle almost. So, um, but yeah, you choose what you learn from every experiences. From every experience, you choose what you learn from every experience. I just want to get that through to everybody. You choose what you learn from each experience. It is a choice what you learn. For example, let's say you were riding a bike for the first time. and you got on that bike and you put both your pedal, like no one, no, let's say like someone's just watching you, get on a bike for the first time. You get on the bike, you put your, foot on that first pedal, and then you put the second pedal, you just fall over. You just instantly fall. What do you think you would learn from that lesson? You just you started the burst bike. I can't speak today. You put yourself on the bike for the first time ever. You've never really, you might have seen people ride a bike before or anything, but this is your first time getting on the bike. You get on the bike, your first foot's on the pedal. You're like, all right, I can do this. I can do this. You put your second foot on the other pedal, and you just tip over and fall. What do you learn from that lesson? What do you choose to learn from that lesson? Let's just talk about all the different things you can learn from this, just that specific lesson. Um, you could learn that bikes are scary. You could learn that bikes are terrifying. You could choose to learn that you're bad at riding a bike. You could choose to learn that you know you could choose to learn to take away from that experience that bikes are just this thing that people make look easy, but it's not easy. You could decide to learn any type of things. You could even make up something like, wow, I just really suck at riding bikes. I don't think I'll ever be able to ride a bike. It's too hard. It's too complex. It's too complicated. Like, you can go into your head and make any narrative you want to, any reality. That's the point of this example. You choose to make whatever reality you want. Your reality is your choice. You can choose to believe you can fly. You can absolutely choose to believe that. In reality, will you be able to fly? Probably not. Probably not. You might go out there and try to jump off that building and fly, but you'll be flying somewhere, all right. You'll be you'll be flying somewhere, all right. So in a sense, maybe you can fly. In a sense, maybe you can fly. But you make up the point that I'm making here is you make up your own reality and what that is. You choose what you learn from any experience too. And that's harder to understand and practice. And when that emotions or these things are happening to you. But um it's harder in practice. But if you actively, think about these things and take yourselves, out of your body, so to speak, like you're on the out, you put yourself on the outside looking in, you tend to just reflect. That's what I'm getting at. Reflect on things, exercise your emotions, reflect on yourself, focus on the present, focus on today. Some people get too focused into what they're going to do tomorrow or what they did yesterday. Focus on today. Enjoy today. Because if you enjoy today, you can get towards tomorrow. By the end of the day, or a matter of fact, most people wake up with an idea of how their day is going to go. What is that called? It's usually a routine. Sometimes you make plans for tomorrow and everything, and that's not what I'm saying. When I tell you to not think about tomorrow and things like that, I'm not telling you not to make plans or anything like that. I'm telling you to enjoy today when I say focus on today. I'm not telling you to, reflect on yesterday and, take things from yesterday, what you learned from yesterday, or, what you learned from your past experiences. I'm telling you to focus on today because usually when you're focusing on yesterday and you're focusing on tomorrow, you're just not in today. And when you're not in that one day that you may or may not be a part of might be the most important day of your life. I went through many days that felt the same. And that's why I say this. I went through every day felt the same to me and not in a good way. I just went to work, came home, maybe played video games, maybe, talked to some friends, but really I just went to work, came home, went to sleep. That was my day for a long time. Those were my days. Just come home, go to work, come home, maybe be on my computer pretty much, and just that was my day. That was it. There was nothing outside of it. There was no doing other things with other people. I'm a hardcore introvert, okay? I am introverted through and through. but I do enjoy company every now and then. But it's just because of my mindset to why I felt the way I did. Every day felt the same to me, and I really didn't know how to break the monotony. I was very depressed about just my life and how I felt about myself. And once again, those all come from expectations. I had high expectations of myself, but I never put myself in a place to meet those expectations. And that's why I say be flexible with your expectations, and be aware of your expectations and how your expectations affect other people and your view of other people. Because you can absolutely change your expectations. The theme of this week might be blessings, but the theme of today, the word of the day I want you to take away from the day is expectations. That's what I want you to take away from today. I'm also going to I always talk about routine. I'm going to give the definition of what a routine is, because I feel like I always talk about it, but I never give a definition of what a routine actually is. A routine. A routine is a repeated sequence of behaviors that do not require conscious effort or thought. A routine is a repeated sequence of behaviors that do not require conscious effort or thought. That's what a routine is. And that is why I say if your routine doesn't match what you want to do, the dreams that you want to get to, the dream that you're sacrificing, the confidence that you're sacrificing, the time that you're sacrificing, the energy that you're sacrificing, if your routine does not match those things, you are not going to reach where you want to go. You're not going to end where you want to be at. And eventually your expectations will probably not be met. And then that will cause you to feel those negative emotions. Expectations. Other people can easily not meet your expectations. And that's why I say control what you can control. Other people may not meet your expectations, but you can control how you react to that. It's up to you how you react to that. I can't govern how you choose to react to other people's reactions. I can't. That's another thing. Like I've learned that I can't control that. All I can do is hope that what I'm saying lands in a way for you that makes sense, and that you can organize it in your own head to make the decisions that you feel like are best for you. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what I say. It doesn't matter what anyone else says. It matters what you believe in, what you're doing to love yourself every day, give yourself grace, give yourself gratitude, be thankful for your blessings. Because let me just be absolutely honest here. It is a blessing that each and every one of us even woke up this morning. There are some people who didn't wake up this morning and who don't wake up every morning. For example, the people of the Gaza Strip in Palestine, the victims of this whole dispute here. Ceasefire now, by the way. Call for a ceasefire within your hearts, as well as the people of Palestine and the Gaza Strip. I've heard some more news about that, but I'm not really going to touch too much on that, just because all I really heard was a political building apparently went under attack from Iran attacked a political building within the Gaza Strip, I believe, and I believe that's what it was. And then, I'm pretty sure that's a violation of UN policy or something like that. It might have been the hospital. It might not have. I'm pretty sure. I can't remember if the hospitals counted as a political building, but I think that might have been a different story. So that's why I'm not going to really touch on it too much. I need to read more, catch up on that more. But yeah, call for a ceasefire within your hearts, as well as for the people of Palestine, please. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get into this melody beady reading, give my thoughts in it, and then we'll go into the chakra system, and then I'll send you lovely people on your way. Day 5 for Melody Beatty. There's no excerpt. There is nothing. It is just the action. It is just the focus of the day, which is action. Day 5 is always an action. Day 6 is always a gratitude focus. I believe it. Yeah, day 6 is always a gratitude focus. So day 5 has no excerpt. There's nothing Melody Beatty has to say before. It's just an action. Ask God to bless your enemies. People, you're in. By the way, when we say God here, you can absolutely substitute this with anything. It doesn't have to be God. It can be you. It can be your neighbor. It can be Allah. It can be the universe. It can be a pet rock. It can be whatever you want it to be. So ask. I'm just gonna say higher power. That's what I'm gonna replace God with. I'm just gonna say higher power. Ask higher power to bless your enemies. People you're envious of, people you're angry with, people you're concerned about, people you love. Use their names when you say the blessing. Ask higher power to bless each person's health, finances, and all areas of his or her life. Ask God to pour down blessings on that person. I'm sorry, ask higher power. It doesn't bother me that much, but I also have religious trauma. Okay, I have religious trauma. All right, it is what it is. I'm calling it how it is. I do have religious trauma that I'm working through. But ask higher power to pour down blessings on that person. Say it until you mean it, until you feel the blessing in your heart. If you're praying for someone you resent, say the blessing each time that person's name pops into your mind. Whenever a friend or loved one comes to mind, say a special blessing for that person too. In your prayer time, take a moment to ask higher power to bless you. Whenever you start a project, your day at work, a meeting, or even a night of fun with friends, you can say a silent little prayer asking higher power to bless that too. Ask higher power to bless the people you're giving to and serving. While you're at it, ask higher power to bless our country and the world. So pretty much just ask higher power, yourself, the universe, your pet rocks, whoever. Ask them to share these blessings or to bless others. That's pretty much the gist of this. Just bless others. Bless yourself as well as others with grace, whatever you see fit. Even the people who resent you, bless them as well. I understand that's a hard thing to do, but one thing that I try to think about is that everyone has their own life. They have their own learned things that they learned throughout their childhood, that some things they can control. Like I said, you choose what you learn from any situation. But sometimes parents also just, teach their kids things. I won't say against their will, but, they try to drill things in their head and make them understand things. And then that creates traumatic feelings and emotions down the line, which then affect how that person views world. So just be aware of certain things like that in certain people. Some people are just the way they are because of other people and how they have made them believe in their own reality. And that's why I try to give people grace and try to understand individuals and try not to judge them. Because nowadays apathy is more commonplace than empathy. And if you don't know what apathy is just pretty much the state of indifference, or pretty much you don't care. You're not really worried about other people. You're just worried about yourself, or you're just the state of indifference. That's what apathy is. And that has become very commonplace. It is another infection of humanity, apathy. Empathy is hard to find. True empathy is really hard to find. Someone who truly just, is open, honest, and willing with themselves as other people. That is really rare. And it's hard for everybody to be empathetic every day. I'm just going to make that completely honest. It's hard for everyone to be empathetic for everybody every day, especially when they don't meet your what? Your expectations. When people don't meet your expectations, you're usually less empathetic for them. You actually become more apathetic. When people, it's just, apathy is huge. It is. When people don't meet your expectations the way you feel, you tend to become more apathetic towards them. You stop caring about them. You stop worrying about how they're doing. And what I'm telling you is, it is okay to still love those people from a distance. I am at odds with my family right now because they did not protect my mother. And when I say they didn't protect my mother, I mean they did not treat my mother with respect. Um, there will, like I said, it's not my story to tell. It's my mother's story to tell. But all I know is if I did the things that, happened on Easter Sunday when I was a kid, I would have got snatched up. They just let it happen. So that's why me and my family are at odds right now. But I'm still going to love them just from a distance. And that's just what it is. Me and my mom are just pretty much focused on our family, which is me, my mom, my cousin, and will be Anaya eventually. But I already consider her family. But legally with the pen to paper, it's not there yet. So, but we're pretty much there in emotions and feelings. So, um, expectations, guys. Be flexible with your expectations and understand that you feel most of the emotions you do because of expectations. Understand that. Um, I had something about higher power. I said I was going to dive deeper into what I mean by higher power. When you ask higher power for something, think about who it is you're really talking to. When I say that, when I say think about who it is you're really talking to, I'm not saying that the God you believe in isn't real. I'm not saying the universe you believe in isn't real. I'm not saying the you that you believe in isn't real, and I'm not saying your neighbor that you believe in isn't real. What I'm saying is who are you really asking when you are asking higher power for things? Who are you really asking? Most faith-driven people most faith-driven people realize that higher power doesn't intervene directly. That's what most faith-driven people understand, that higher power doesn't interact directly. Some people do say they've had experience where God intervened in their life. They feel like God saved them and such forth and such forth. I am one of those um, children, I guess, that my family would consider a miracle baby because I survived a pretty traumatic, well, I won't say traumatic, but I survived tubes, throughout my body as a baby. We'll just say that. Um, that is, you could attribute that to higher power to some extent, I guess. But I also thank the medical professionals, because without them it wouldn't have been possible. Without the tools that humans created, and it wouldn't have been possible. And you say, well, those they were able to create those tools because of higher powers grace, God's grace, whatever you may call it. And then that's when I say, I mean, that's when I say, well, the higher power doesn't do anything for you. It doesn't do anything for you. What do I mean by that? Well, who drives you to work in the morning? Is it higher power? Does higher power drive you to work in the morning? Who got that college degree? Was it higher power? Did higher power get that college degree? It might have led you there. It might have, nudged you, but you yourself chose to take whatever path you took to get to that college degree, or whatever finish line, so to speak, finish line that you've made it to, the goal that you've completed, the goal that you've reached. The same way that you can't blame higher power when things don't work out either. Because that's what I find either people do or don't. Like they kind of vice versa split it sometimes, or they believe it both ways or not both ways. Some people believe when good things happen to them, it's all higher power. Then when bad things happen, it's not higher power, or it is higher power, or some other, power, being the devil or something like that, when it's actually none of the above. It is just, it's just how life works, so to speak. It's just, everybody's fighting for their own happiness. So things just kind of happen to go. That's just life. Like things just kind of happen to go wrong sometimes. Things don't work out sometimes. That's just what happens. It's not higher power's fault. And it's not because of higher power that something good happens to you or something bad happens to you. It is all on you and your choices and your expectations why things happen. Not higher power. Higher power can only, you know how they say you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink? Higher power can only lead you to the bucket of water. Higher power can only lead you to the bucket of water. It cannot make you drink. So before you thank higher power, first thank yourself. First thank your neighbor that, helped you study all those lessons. Thank your coworkers, thank your friends that helped you along the way before you thank higher power. Because higher power just led you there. So definitely thank them. Thank higher power. But it's not just because higher power that you made it to where you are. It is because of you. We also have this. Oh, my cat wants to go outside. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna let him out. I'm gonna let him out. It's okay. You're probably thirsty. All right, y'all. I'm back. All right. um, Another thing that I want to talk about before I end with the chakra system and all of my information on it. Actions do not speak louder than words. So I think I've talked about this like the past 3 weeks. Actions do not speak louder than words, guys. They don't. Why do you believe actions speak louder than words? Because of expectation. Because of expectations. Because of learned behaviors as a child. Because of learned behaviors in high school. Because people just like to talk and not back it up. People just like to talk, period. But also, people don't like to take action either and will just talk. Or not talk at all and just take action. And it still, might not speak louder. And that's why I'm like, actions don't speak louder than words. Humans made you believe it. Human nature tries to make that true. Human nature tries to make that true. The fact that actions speak louder than words, which is just incorrect. It's not true. Actions do not speak louder than words. They're actually equal. They're very equal. Let's see. Can I even give an example? I mean, it's literally written in it. Like it said, actions speak louder than words. It just doesn't make sense from a logical standpoint because you can actions. Somebody can do something that is incorrect that they have no knowledge of that is incorrect. But when you hear them speak, you understand that that's not what they were trying to. Actions and words are both languages. They both are equal in meaning, equal in substance. Actions and words are both equal. Don't put actions above words and don't put words above actions. Take them both. Take them both. Take them both, weigh them out, understand them. Actions do not speak louder than words, and words do not speak louder than actions. They are actually one and the same. I actually hate that even exists. Actions speak louder than words. Because I used to believe that too. Actions absolutely speak louder than words. You're right. And that's just not the truth. That is a traumatic response. that was somebody having a traumatic response to somebody. And everybody ate it up. Everybody in the world ate it up. They said, yeah, actions do speak louder than words, when that's just not true. It's just not. If I were to tell you that I'm going to be an astronaut and I'm going to make it happen, and my actions, I'm doing all these, degrees. I'm in school for being an astronaut and whatnot. But, let's say let's just say like a complete outlier just happens. All of a sudden, that whole division I was a part of with the field or whatever, it's erased. It's gone. You can no longer be an astronaut for some reason. Let's just say something random, almost impossible, like something like that happens. Did my actions not match my words now because I didn't make it to the destination? I'm trying to think of a better example. That wasn't a very good example. I feel like that wasn't a very good example. But I feel like we can definitely think of a lot of examples to where actions and words really mean the same things, because humans are the ones that are using these actions and words. Humans are why we believe that actions speak louder than words, because humans just talk. They use words as a tool to get you to believe that they are going to take action or believe in the action itself. They can do the same thing with actions. They can show you that, for example, somebody can show you that they love you, but if you don't hear it, are you going to believe it? I'm going to say that again because I know a lot of women feel this way too. I know a lot of women feel this way. If somebody shows you that they love you, but never tells you, how are you going to feel? You're probably not going to necessarily feel it. You as a woman, especially, maybe not as much as a man, but as a woman, if you are never told, or as a woman, man, whether I don't really care about the same sex. Like, I don't care if you like the same sex, you're lesbian, gay, whatever. I don't care about none of that. I'm just saying, as a woman, if you're not being told, if you're not being validated, which is, the whole theme of today, I speak, the throat chakra. If you're not being told that you are loved, but you're being shown it, you're probably going to ask your partner, hey, I need you. You're going to have that inherent need. Like, I need you to tell me that you love me. And that's why I say actions do not speak louder than words. That's a great example. Actions, they're equal. They're both needed. You need both actions and words to make sense of any of it. Because you can absolutely have action and the words don't meet up, and you can have the words and the actions don't meet up. You need both, and that's the point. If you're going to say actions speak louder than words, you also have to go in the same sentence and say words speak louder than actions, and then it just derails the whole thing. And it has to be that way. It has to be. Actions don't speak louder than words, guys. It doesn't. Like I said, if somebody doesn't tell you they love you, if you were to go to a wedding ceremony right now, they just put the ring on, you kissed, would you be okay? They didn't say, you didn't say vows or nothing. You'd be cool? I didn't think so. Now, most men are like, they're shaking their head like, yep, I'd be absolutely fine with that. I'd be cool. Most men are sitting here like, yep, just put the ring on. Let's go. Let's get out of here. But women, you want them, you want that man or woman, that man, woman, he, she, they. You want them to tell you that they love you. And I know you do. That's just the truth. So never again say that actions speak louder than words. Because someone can show you that they love you, but if they don't say it, it's not going to matter. It's not going to matter to you. Those words are going to mean a lot more. Now, in the moment, I say that in the moment because they're showing you all the actions, but in the moment, the words are going to mean more to you. But I got like literally 9 minutes to go over the chakra system. I've been blabbing, so I got 9 minutes to go over the chakra system. My cat's trying to get in the door now. He's like, why didn't you let me back in? He said, why did you lock me out? It's because my girl. You know your mom's at work, Loki. Your mom's at work. All right, let me get into this throat chakra, then I'll send us home. The throat chakra is the first of the spiritual chakras. The throat chakra has much to do with our true, authentic voice, where faith and understanding combines. When the throat chakra is out of harmony, we have difficulty speaking our truth or expressing ourselves, feel silenced and judged for what we say, feel out of alignment with who we are, and feel out of touch with our will to live. When the throat chakra is in harmony, our will to live is strong and we are able to follow our dreams. We speak our truth where we say what we mean and mean what we say. We express ourselves easily, creatively, and authentically, listen to our inner voice, and have a balance between silence and speech. The location of the throat chakra is at the base of the neck, the little hollow point right here at the collarbone. The color that is associated with light blue is the color that is associated with light blue. The color that is associated with the throat chakra is light blue. The element that is associated with throat chakra is sound. The affirmation, obviously, I think I've mentioned it already, but the affirmation of throat chakra is I speak. The physical body parts that are affected are the throat, trachea, neck, vertebrae, mouth, teeth, and gums, esophagus, hypothalamus, shoulders, arms, and hands. The life lesson of the throat chakra is to speak and receive the truth. Physical dysfunctions that deal with the throat chakra are raspy or sore throat, mouth ulcers, gum difficulties, TMJ, stiff neck, scoliosis, swollen glands, or thyroid problems. Mental health / emotional issues are strength of will, personal expression, following one's dreams, using personal power to create, choice, and capacity to make decisions, addiction, judgment, criticism, and faith. Possible causes of energy blocks include, but are not limited to, difficulty in expressing oneself, withholding or swallowing words, and suppressing creative talents. The crystals that are related to the throat chakra include, but are not limited to, turquoise, blue kyanite, aquamarine, celestite, iolite, sodalite, and lapis lazuli, which I have one right here. This is a part of my pet rock familia. This is the fifth baby, lapis lazuli. This is the fifth baby. And then we have, I'm just going to show you a little bit of my pet rock familia, or my crystal familia, as we like to say at Love in Action Network. This is blue goldstone. It's a really pretty crystal, blue goldstone. It's a blue goldstone tower. It's used for motivation, confidence, and such like that. So I have these with me too. And then selenite, which I used to spell wrong. I used to spell selenite CELE, all that, but it's actually starts with an S. Selenite starts with an S, so I got that right. But this is a very cleansing crystal, as well as it amplifies as well. So I have like all these three crystals help me out here. I definitely feel a lot better with them. So even though that might just be pet rocks to other people, they actually really help me with my health. I'd like to say my pet rock familia helps me with my health, I'd like to say. But yeah, which again, that's part of expectations. It's okay that other people think differently than you. That doesn't mean they're any less lovable, and that doesn't mean that they're wrong necessarily either. That's just what works for them. It's okay to be different, guys. It's okay to have different opinions. Be flexible with your expectations. Try to be flexible with your expectations. I know that's harder in practice than in reality, but really think about your expectations when you are talking to people, when you're feeling these emotions, when other people don't meet your expectations. Really think about what you really expect out of people, and that will help you understand yourself as well as how you view people. Think about your expectations and exercise your emotions. I didn't really go into the glands today, but that's because I really go into the glands like every time I'm up here. I guess I'll talk about the thyroid and parathyroid gland real fast, which is part of the endocrine system. But you guys probably don't. If you guys want to learn about the thyroid, I guess you can look it up. It's okay. I don't got to go in depth about it every time and teach you. Yeah, give a whole science lesson, I guess, or health lesson, whatever you'd like to categorize it as. But yeah, that's it for the daily boost. That's all I really got for us today. The word of the day is expectations. It is humanity's greatest curse, the expectation of perfection. And when I say expectations of perfection, obviously none of us are perfect, but humanity has this expectation of perfection that comes from us and our idea of how other people should act and behave and be is a curse that needs to be broken. Some people talk about breaking generational curses. I would like to begin and healing humanity's curse, which is the expectation of perfection. And I'm gonna try to talk about expectations more, because I feel like that's a point that really needs to be driven home It really is. I don't think everyone really thinks about why they think the way they do. They just think the way they do. And they don't think about how other people feel. They don't think about what other people's been through. They don't get to try to know their neighbor. Instead, they like to judge. And that's why I hate this political BS with the Democrats and Republicans, because now you have a reason to hate somebody just because they're affiliated with a liberal or conservative. And now it's like, oh, like, why are you don't get to know each other. And the funny thing about all this political BS is that when you really get down to like the brass tacks about how a person really feels, you find that you both have common ground, at least maybe somewhere. And that's why I'm like, why are you different parties? Why can't we all be one party? We're called the United States of America, but we're very divided in every way. So think about that. Snack on that. Snack on that. But yeah, I'm done for the day here. A couple of shout outs. Check out starlightmysticbotanica.com for your spiritual needs. Starlightmysticbotanica.com. You can find her on TikTok under starlight_mystic. That is starlight_mystic. Mystic is spelled MYSTIC if you don't know. Our CEO, Dr. Flo, has various concerts of hopes throughout the week. The concerts of hope are rehearsal for his concert or revival that he is planning to host and have. That is called the Love Experience. If you want to find out more about that, check out lovedandlovable.org. I do, which probably I'm gonna have to find either somebody else or do it myself. I do a podcast talking about football with Tara Priolo, who you can find more about at tarapriolo.com. Happy birthday to Tara Priolo once again. Happy birthday to her. I hope she's enjoying her birthday today. We talk about football all year long, and we go live on Tuesdays at a new time, 8:15 Central Standard Time, 9:15 Eastern Time. That's just in front of the live audience. We upload a podcast to Spotify. Once again, it's called Late Night Sax if you want to check that out. Poppy Wada. Poppy Wada 33 is another member of Love and Action Network that works closely with Starlight Mystic and me within the Waiting to Exhale spaces and House of Mommy Wada spaces. He is another member. They have a tarot table tomorrow hosted on TikTok. They like to host all their things on TikTok over there. You can find out more about Waiting to Exhale and House of Mommy Wata and all that through the TikTok. Through the TikTok. I sound like an old man. Through the TikTok. Wow. That can be found on TikTok, starlight_mystic once again, and at poppywater33. You can find poppywater33 under who is better known as Brentley Neal. You can find him under any social media platform under that handle. Once again, I'm putting them above here. I got all the ads up here, and I've had various ads and things hovering above my head if you want to check those out. But yeah, that's kind of my little blurb about Love and Action Network, and I think we're done here with the Daily Boost. Be humble, be unapologetic, and be true to you guys. I really mean it. Work on your expectations. Think about your expectations. Be flexible with your expectations. Exercise your emotions. More importantly, please exercise your emotions, guys. Your body needs to be exercised. Your body needs stretched. Your emotions need stretched, and your emotions need to be exercised, guys. Take care of your body, your mind, all of that. Your spirit, everything. Take care of it. Don't neglect it. I know we like to eat terribly sometimes, especially in the US. We like to eat terribly sometimes, but don't eat terribly when it comes to your emotions. Like I said, understand your expectations. Understand why you feel the way you do. It's not something that's necessarily going to change or be understood within one day, by the way, either. Your routine, all that is a day-to-day process. I'm just trying to help give you the tools to do that, help give you the knowledge to think about these things. That's all. That's all I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to tell you how to live your life and what to do. I'm just giving you the work frame to work around. Um, but yeah, I'm sorry. My outros always end up going a little long because I'm like, oh, I wanna get this in here. I want to make sure they got something out of the end of the day. So that's just that's the reason why I'm so crazy about these outros. But I love you guys. You are all loved and lovable, and I hope you truly believe that you are loved and lovable. If not, please work on believing that you are loved and lovable. Choose to love yourself today. Don't cheat yourself out of life. Do not cheat yourself out of life. I told you already. Your time is worth sacrificing. Your energy is worth sacrificing. Your confidence is worth sacrificing. Your goals are worth sacrificing. What's not worth sacrificing is your life. Your life is not worth sacrificing. It's not worth it. Do not settle for mediocrity. Do your best. Do your best in this lifetime. Don't have any regrets. I know you probably hear that all the time. Don't have any regrets. You don't want to live your life like you don't have any regrets. Don't cheat yourself out of your own happiness and joy. Go find it. Please go find it. You are all loved and lovable. I will catch you guys the next one. Peace out. Snack on that.